Hello and welcome. I'm Lynn of Lynn X Stitches Creates, and welcome to my Flosstube channel about counter cross stitch and the project bags I make. It is Tuesday, April 1st, 2025. This is episode 160. Welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for coming back, engaging, all the things. And if you're new, I know I have a few new subscribers because I was at a wonderful retreat this past weekend in Michigan, which I will talk about. And thank you for stopping by and checking me out. And hopefully you will come back again and visit some more. It was a busy week last week, and Friday, my friend Jan, who has finished the stitch on Instagram, she's one of the finishers for Keepsakes. She and I drove up to Plainwell, Michigan, which is north of Kalamazoo, and we went to the Stitch Fest 2025 Session 1. So this retreat recap will actually be in two parts because Bobby, who hosts the retreat and who runs the cute little store Stitching Bits and Bobs, asked that, we not show swag and things like that. So I'm going to do my recap in two parts rather than, potentially spoiling the surprise for anybody, because Bobby spoiled us. Right, left, and center, Bobby spoiled us. Oh, my eyes are watering this morning. Oh my goodness. So we got up early. We left about 6:50 or 5:55 Friday morning. It was about 5 hours. 4.5 if we had driven straight through. 4:45 because we missed a turn. We were talking and it was raining and there was no way I could stop in time to make that turn. So we added about 10-15 minutes to the trip. And then of course, you got to make a potty break at some point. So drove up to Michigan. We got there around 11 a.m. Got settled. Lunch was included in the retreat, which was wonderful. Had the best time. Had a wonderful table of ladies. Hi Rita, hi Louise, hi Betty, hi Monica. They are from the Monroe, Michigan area, so the opposite side of Michigan, which is directly above Toledo. Toledo into Michigan area they were from. Wonderful group of ladies. We had so much fun getting to know each other. Just such a good time. So, had lunch every day at the retreat. Jan and I went out to dinner with Justine, who's one half of X's and Ho's on Flosstube, and had a marvelous time. Unfortunately, she lives in the area, and unfortunately, she's signed up for weekend too, as is Colleen Rebel Stitcher. So, you never know. But it was basically one of those things. I saw the retreat on Instagram or Facebook. I can't even remember where I saw it advertised. And I thought, ooh, that's not far. That sounds fun. Let's go. And conned Jan into going with me. So, it was just a different retreat to go to, and it really was a wonderful retreat. Worth every penny. The hotel was not that expensive. The retreat registration was not expensive. Bobby spoiled us. Had wonderful trunk shows, very different, very varied. And I have a video of those, but once again, I'm going to put it in the next episode so that anyone that's going doesn't get spoiled, because it's a great surprise. I will say, because she already put on her Instagram, Teresa Kogut came in. She lives 2 hours, I think it was 2 hours away. She came in on Friday and dropped off her trunk show. So, and she had mentioned that Jan and I were there, which I've been to a few retreats with Teresa, and you know, if you haven't met her, she is wonderful. She is just as genuine and nice as she is on her floss tubes. So lots of stitching, lots of stuff. I do have haul. I will show the haul, and of course I'll show all my stitching. So let's get started. Before I left on retreat, I worked on my Bothy shoe, my Gossamer sampler or slipper, Gossamer slipper from Bothy Threads. Ymir, Almond M&Ms, the fabulous silk dyer, was running her ultra marathon again this year from the pier in, or actually, did they start at the pier this year, or did they may have started someplace else this year, but started in Los Angeles and ran to Las Vegas. Yes, I said run, for those of you new. It's about 340 miles, and Ymir has been doing ultras and marathons for the last 2 years, so we had started a stitch and run group, and then before she ran through the deserts of Chile, the country, yes, we had gotten these shoes from Bothy Threads so that we're stitching while she's running. And if I haven't put it in, I'll put it in the picture of where I started. And then this is where I am now. So I've gone, this is the middle, gone up, this is the top. There is actually, let's see, one more leaf here, and that would finish the top. I had wanted to get back to it, and I didn't quite. And I only got 230 stitches, and I really wanted to do 340 because that's how many miles she ran. But I'm still pleased with the progress. So I've got a good section, and then I will start coming back down the back side, which the back side is more branchy vine until I get to the heel, and then once I get to the bottom will be the cats and the pumpkin. So really like the way that's coming along. That'll get put away until she runs her next big event. I'm not sure that she knows what the next one is, but the next big one she runs, then we'll pull that out again. So yay. While I was at retreat, I worked on, so I had started this last week, which was a Stitcher's Quaker by Luminous Fiber Arts, and hopefully I have a picture. I don't remember if I took one or not. And then this is where I am now. So I added in the clover and the X's at the top. I've got 2 more letters, the needle, the button, and the spool of thread. So it's such a fun stitch, and I know some people don't like, while they're chatting, to do such things, but each motif is so nicely done that it's very easy, even while I'm chatting, to get things in. Now watch, I'll put something else in. It'll be in the wrong spot, but that is where it is, and I am so loving it. It's probably maybe about 1/4 of the way done. So I've gotten all this over here done. The tomato and the bird, those are going to be big sections because there's a lot of fill in. But yep, it's very, very cute. And if I have time this month, I will pull it out more. This month is Springo, it's April, but we'll see. I'll talk about that in a minute. Excuse me, lots of talking this weekend. I started my next Early American. I am working on Betsy Ross. She is actually the #1 block, but because I did a center start to make sure I had the correct amount of fabric, she's my third block. So last time she was not in, so I'm not going to even bother putting a picture. There it is all together. And so I got in her block, the grass, and then Betsy is in there. So next I'll need to do her home. There's a tree and a flower and of course her name. So, but I got a good start, which makes me feel good. I had wanted to do, my goal for this had been to do a block a month. I am half a block behind, or 2/3 of a block behind, but that's okay. It's for me. Hopefully I can catch up at some point. Maybe yes, maybe no. I don't know. And then the last thing I brought with me, which was called for the Candyland game that I'm playing with my friends. I had to put 1,000 stitches in. So it was Noel Sampler by Satsuma Street. I had the N and O, Bell and Star done. And while I was at retreat, I added the outlines for these 2 blocks, which makes next month's block very easy. And I am a block ahead on this one because I was going to do a block a month for this one too. So I'm actually I'm a block ahead because we're in April now. So this would technically have been April's block because I started out with the bell done. That was all I had done in January. So so I finished the E, and that was just the E. Is that right? I'm thinking. The E and the rest of the outline of the blocks was 1,014 stitches. So next I'll start the L. So we have Noel. And this I'll probably put on a scroll rod too, just so that, you know, I'm not crunching the stitches. But this one is on my Springo board. And if you have not heard of Springo, that's what I'm going to talk about next. Springo is, it was not the idea, someone in the Magazine Monthly Challenge group on Facebook, if you need some ideas to, you know, liven up your stitching, Magazine Monthly Cross Stitch Challenge group. You don't have to just use magazines. That's why it was started by Carolyn Zook of C Zook Stitch and Robin from Bird's Eye Stitcher, or Bird's Eye Stitches. I always forget. I'm sorry, Robin. They started this group. They have across sticks that they put in. So then you just pick your stitching and put it in, and you know, challenge yourself. Well, it used to be twice a year. They had a monthly pop-up challenge where you would pick out your stitching and you stitch either an hour or 100 stitches, which is why I started, because an hour, I wasn't counting my stitches, and I still don't technically, but because I use Markup XP on my iPad now, I can count my stitches if I've got that pattern in my iPad. But so there was AB Singo in September and Bringo in January, and you would make a bingo board, and for AB Singo you do 25 of the 26 letters because there was only 25 blocks. So they would take one letter of the alphabet out, and then you match your projects to the alphabet. In January for Bringo, 25 blocks, but there were different, what's the word? Oh, goodness. Like, different prompts for your, so oldest whip, newest whip, most hated whip, things like that. And you would put your projects in. And you can either put, for those, you could either put 25 projects or make one project fit all the prompts. However you want to do it, it's up to you. And there are prizes if you post in the group. I've decided I'm not gonna post in the group. I'm not gonna make a photo album. I'm just gonna show it on here. But so one of the members of the group suggested Springo, and so this to the word across the top is Springo. So 7 letters. So we have a 35 grid board. So it's only 25 days long. So all of these numbers will not be called. So you can't do in AB Singo and Bringo, we could do a blackout board because you would get all 25 numbers. You could do diagonals because it was 20. You can't do a diagonal with a 35. So it's only going to be acrosses and down. So either 7 across or 4 down, 5 down, sorry, to get a Springo. So Carolyn always calls the number the night before for us, but that way so people that are in other countries, like Australia, it's already late in the night in Australia on April 1st. So, you know, if she had waited till this morning to call, they would miss April 1st. So she calls the night before, and last night for April 1st, she called 30. So instead of having to hunt through my board, I filled out this with my 7 projects, and I just went down my list, and it's use Easter. So today, tonight, whenever I sit down to stitch, I am going to work on Twin Peak Primitives, use Easter, which I started 2 years ago because I thought that was absolutely adorable. And I've only got a T and a B with the little honeybees, and that's it. So hopefully tonight I will make a lot more progress on this. I'm looking forward to working on it. That's one of the reasons I pulled it too, because Easter is coming. I would like to get it done. So yeah, so long talk, Springo, join in. Even if you're not going to post pictures in the group, you can join the Magazine Monthly group. The link for the Magazine Monthly group and for Springo are both in my description box, but you have to be a member of the Magazine Monthly group first before you can get to Springo information. Last week before I left on the retreat, I worked on finishing some things. I know, crazy talk. Let's see. Now that I'm looking at this, I'm thinking it might be a little too, oh well. So I had gotten this frame, and I know there's a lot of glare, from, my friends love to go antiquing. It is not my thing. I enjoy going to museums and seeing antique things, but I have a lot of things from my family, so I don't need older things. And sometimes walking through the antique malls, it's sad to me. And having cleaned out my mom and brother's houses, it's like this is where all their things went to die, somebody's things, and it makes me very sad. So that's why I don't like going antiquing. This crazy person. But when I'm with my friends, I'm not going to tell them not to stop. So one time, and they know that that's not my thing. So, you know, we don't go very often. But we were, I think maybe we had been in up at Craft Gallery, and we stopped at one of the antique malls on the way home, because there's quite a few in the Cincinnati area. And my friend Liz, the Wandering Stitcher, and I, we were wandering together, and we found this basket with these. Now it's just plastic, and they had a bird in it. But we looked at it and thought, ooh, those would be great for finishing. So I took my Hearts Entwined, and I think it looks great. Now, I was asking my friends, I was debating about it, if I should, like, paint this a little bit, tone down the gold. You know, it's not, I know there's the reflection and everything, but what do you think? Do I need to wipe like a little something on there? Not necessarily paint it over completely, that's not what I'm saying, but just, I don't know, add, I know there's some people that add like a wipe-on wax, or, you know, black to tone it down. What do you think? But I love the shape. I think this looks great in there. So I have that ready to hang on my wall. And then I was working on, but did not finish because I'm not sure how I want to. I've got this all pinned. I was hoping to use my staple gun. It stapled and it went right through the fabric. I'm like, oh, gotta think about the length of my staples. That was not the smart thing. So that's in the process. It looks like there's wrinkles here, but that's actually the modeling in the fabric. So hopefully by next week I will have that glued down. And I have another piece that I put in timeout like that, where I was thinking about it, and that was almost a year ago. So I've got to get back to that too, because I really want to get that piece on my wall. And it's under a pile of stuff over there behind my desk. My desk that you know, that's my sewing table. That is always clean. The desk that I film near is an IKEA corner desk. When we first moved to this house, my husband thought we were going to share this room. That he would have the computer in here and he could be in here when I'm working. As you can see, there's not that much room here. And when I'm walking, I have my iron over here, my cutting here, my sewing there. There's no way for him to be in here too. When he comes in just to sit and talk to me and sit over here, it's like the room gets even smaller. So I have my old sewing machine set up on this one, because that one, my Juki only does straight stitch. That's it. It does nothing else. My old one is still good enough where it can do a zigzag, so that's how I serge my fabric. So I keep that set up over here, and behind it in the corner triangle space is like just junk, which I hate. And every now and then I clean some of it off and I reclaim some of it. So, but anyway, I'm rambling. I'm sorry. I don't even know why. Because I have to rescue that other piece. Okay. Other fun stuff from the retreat. Met some lovely ladies, as I said, and got some table gifts. Monica gave us a pretty notebook with paper, and was a good thing, and a pen, because I forgot my Snoopy notebook that I bring to all my retreats. I looked at it and said I need to bring that, and I forgot. She also gave us a couple of, they're just plywood, but to use for finishing stuff. So those will definitely come in handy as I continue my year of finishing. Thank you, Monica. Louise is a quilter, and she made everybody table mats. And got the ribbon so we can roll it up. Isn't that nice? That's such a great idea. And then Jan got everyone little egg cups, and then got almond, are they almond M&Ms, Jan, or I think they're almond M&Ms. Isn't that cute? You can use as an art jar. And Jan also made for me, because I drove and she really didn't need to, but she made me this beautiful pouch with the fabric in there. And then look at, and I love the quilting. Oh my gosh, it's so amazing. So thank you, Jan, for that. I'm going to put this in a project. I have a project that doesn't have a Notions pouch that I want to put it in. GB Stitching Depot, or GW Stitching, Gail was at the retreat. She gave everybody a ring with one of her amazing acrylic bobbins. Here we go. Do it on the blue. Now what's really neat is you can use it as a bobbin, and it's got the hole there, you know, the slit like a regular bobbin. Or if you want to use it as a floss drop, there's a hole there, and when you're done with your project you can wrap it around, and then there's a larger hole slit to hold if you've got it, you know, dangling, and then you can put it away. So her bobbins are amazing. I've got her drawer system in my Bisley for my my DMCs. I have I bobbinate and my Bisley drawer, and these are her acrylic dividers. So if you've got any kind of a file cabinet, she had a different acrylic drawer system, and I believe her drawers pulled out this way instead of the long way. But, you know, it was an acrylic box that was clear. She told me where she got it from. That might have been, I know she got a big cube from the Container Store, because she now does the file strips. If you want to put all your floss on floss drops, she has the strips so that they go into a file box. And she had a clear file box from Michael's, and she also had like a big acrylic cube from the Container Store, and she said you could stack them. So her entire set of DMC was in this one cube from the Container Store. And then she said, you know, you could stack up and do all of your specialty fibers. Very cool systems. She's on Etsy, GW Stitching Depot. Gail's wonderful. Highly recommend her things. Let's see. Just making sure I don't forget anybody. Betty gave us each a little bag, and in the bag she had Mill Hill kit, and I love cardinals. This is a clever thing that she found, and it's called a mini grip, and it's like one of those rubber things, so if you're trying to get open jars and things, but you can clip it and carry it with you. So even if there's a soda bottle that's tight, one of the ladies had trouble getting her like Stanley cup, Yeti cup unscrewed at the top. This would grip that. She gave us a big ring, which I always need. We got a little strawberry and a pair of scissors and some beeswax and a cute little ugly Christmas sweater fob. And that's it. And she had everybody's little bags just absolutely stuffed with stuff. So much fun. And cute little notions bag to save and use. So thank you, Betty. So that was all my little gifts. Then I went to the freebie table. You know, I always look at the freebie table. You know, I say I always look at the freebie table. I never find anything on the freebie table for me. I usually find things on the freebie table for other people. I hit the mother load of freebie tables. This is a kit from Cotton and Twine, Historical Sampler Company. I've done the Christmas Advent boxes. Cotton and Twine is their monthly subscription box or bi-monthly subscription box. The January box this year I really wanted. I thought about getting, then I decided no, I'd gotten a lot in my Advents. I really didn't need it. It's the whole kit. It's the whole kit with the fabric and floss. It's not the whole box, but it's the kit. And I love this. And I love it so much, and I wanted to. So I am so excited. If you are watching, if you put this on the freebie table during session 1 of Stitch Fest, thank you so much. I am so excited to have this. Another thing that I found, someone had gone to the 2024 Michigan Stitchers Retreat, and Bella Filipina had done the design for that retreat. And this is Kayla the Forest Pixie. And I absolutely love that. And I think I have a piece of fabric that this would look great on. This is probably the first fancy lady that I've really considered starting right away. I've loved quite a few of them, but I don't have one that I want to do that much. This is probably going to be a giveaway. This is from Cherrywood Design Studios, and it's called A Stitcher's Story. Every stitcher has a story. Tales of sorry, glasses. It's a smaller picture. Tales of woe and tales of glory. Mother, daughter, grandma too, all taught me. Who taught you? Stitch, Smyrna, mosaic, and rice. I've learned them all like lessons of life. I promise to keep the legacy strong, knowledge to stay long after I'm gone. So I'm going to use that as a giveaway. I love it. That was so Cherrywood Design Studios and Kathy Haberman and Teresa Curry created that. So, and we all know Kathy Haberman today. This is from 2010 as Hands-On Design. So yeah. So I'm going to save that and use that as a giveaway. My 4-year anniversary is in 2 weeks. So be watching for that, because I'll probably post my anniversary video in 2 weeks before my actual anniversary because of traveling in May. And then the last thing I found on the table, this is definitely an old one. I don't even know if there's any. Whoever the designer was did the year in Roman numerals. It might be 92. Might be earlier than that. I have to look that up. But it's all, and my grandson loves airplanes. He could go to the Air Force Museum in Dayton and just live there. The last time they took him, he cried because they made him stop after 3 hours to eat lunch. They said, we're just going to eat lunch here. You can still see the airplanes. You can look at them while you're eating lunch because their cafe, I guess their cafe is like on a second level and it's open and you can see all the... He was so upset. So I may let him pick out something and I'll stitch him a World War II airplane. Or, I don't know that they're all World War II. It says warbirds, so I would have to look it up. I don't know my airplanes like my daughter does. So I did a little shopping. Besides all the fun stuff we got, I did a little shopping. We went to Stitching Bits and Bobs, which is only like, is it even 5 minutes from the hotel? And Bobby makes a lot of things. So she made these cute coasters, and I'm going to put them in my car in my cup holders, just because my husband likes to spill things in my cup holders. So, and they remind me of my cat Chris. So I got that. She had a kit. It's a Bella Bella pincushion. This is from Rosewood Manor. It's the complete kit. So it's that pincushion. Comes with the pattern, the fabrics, the floss, all the things. So I thought that was really pretty. She had on her counter the pattern from last year, and I bought it. It's called Stitching Friends. It's by the Mindful Needle Designs, who is Dawn Frisk. I'm not sure if I've heard of the Mindful Needle. I'm not sure where she's from, but she designed this pattern. Stitching Friends are friends who count. I won't put Stitch Fest or anything, but I just thought that was really pretty. She had from Textile Crafts a Stitcher's deck, and on here it's on a bag. At the retreat, I may put in the picture, it was on a pillow. I think I got a picture of it. I know it's in my video, but I thought those were really cute. You can do them as little smalls or do it all as one thing. So I thought that was great. Fine Frog Stitching, who I have bought many patterns from so far. Ice Moon Cardinal. How pretty is that? Ugh, just love that. And then two other new to me designers. I'm just gonna put this stuff in the bag before it falls on the floor. I have more of a mess to clean up. This one is from Artmishka Cross Stitch. Anna Gutova, she's from Italy. It's called Bath Day, and that just cracked me up. So cute. And it's just done in black, 310. I was looking to see. Excuse me, it doesn't say on the outside how big it actually is. And then this is from Alexandra Adelaide Needleworks. And Simply Cat. You have all the cute cats. I love this fluff ball. So I don't know if I'll do the whole thing, or if, I might do little bits. But so funny. cat foot. So those were the things that I bought. So next week I will share video of the trunk shows. I will share all the swag we got. And when I say all the swag, I mean we got swag on Friday when we got there. We got swag 3 times on Saturday. And then we got our last swag on Sunday. And a few other things. After dinner Saturday night, Bobby went around. Hopefully this isn't a big surprise, but Bobby went around and gave everybody ice cream. Unfortunately, because we had gone to dinner with Justine from X's and Ho's, we actually went from the old mill, which is a old flour mill. Food was excellent. We walked, there's like a house and then the Plainwell ice cream parlor, and had ice cream there, and they have been in business for 48 years this year, and I'll tell you, that ice cream was wonderful. I was so full after that meal, but it was great. So next week I'll have more to show and tell. I'll have more stitching to show, because depending upon, you know, it could be that all 7 projects are pulled in the next few days, or it could be the same one is pulled 5 more times. Who knows? But whatever happens, I will be here next week, hopefully next Monday. And until then, I hope you have a great week and happy stitching.